Shalom, shalom. Give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, and the men in the truth on down regarding this truth and knowledge. And to Wadi Bashem Yoshua put in the spirit of the elders and apostles and the men in the truth on down so we can know this truth and knowledge and be able to know this truth and knowledge. Call holy Yahweh Bashem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash. Give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash. Some articles relating to Amazon workers strikes in U.S. Various articles here. Amazon workers strike in the U.S. and 30 other countries on Black Friday. That's Insider. Some reports. Amazon strike, Black Friday protests and walkout plan in 40 countries. Bloomberg, Insider, Bloomberg.com, The Hill. 1,000 stage protest workers walk out at Amazon on Black Friday. Amazon workers protest at some German and French sites on Black Friday. So different countries, it said 40 countries, America, US, and various countries all over, man. We're already having these tech companies relating to people being laid off, such as Twitter and different units, Meta, which is a part of Facebook, laying off workers. So you've seen a lot of people lose jobs, man, lose their work, man. But that's the times we're in, man. Rolling Stones. This is a future report. Amazon workers across the world plan Black Friday strike to demand the tech giant pay fairly, man. And to pay fairly and cease awful and unsafe practices, man. So the people, pretty much, they're getting tired of these unfair wages, these long hours, and somewhat unsafe conditions, man. Even practices, man, relating to, as far as their jobs, man. Just like related to the Twitter, man. He wanted a condition to work longer hours, you know what I mean? So the people weren't having that, so they said no. And that relates to Twitter, man, for Elon Musk, man. Let's continue on. Amazon workers plan global strike on a Black Friday, citing bad pay and working conditions. So probably in the various other countries where practices and procedures are a little bit different, for example, than the United States. So you're seeing people walk out, man, because of the pay, because of unsafe work practices and conditions, man. These are a few articles here. Let's go through them. DW, which is Deutsch, German report. CBS. We're going to get some scriptures and we'll go through this real quick. Why is Amazon going on strike? The strike was organized under the Make Amazon Pay international campaign, coordinated among the trade unions, climate justice groups, and labor rights organization. It calls upon Amazon to increase worker pay and stop busting warehouse employee efforts to unionize, as well as improve the environmental impact, man. So that's the main reason, man. Better pay, working conditions, working environment, man. And probably an over workload too, as well, man. It's the Hill and some other reports. Let me see. Different questions. Do Amazon workers get overworked? Amazon uses contractors for delivery services. A MoveMeyer said it makes it exceedingly difficult for workers to organize. And he said contributes to drivers being overworked, underpaid by the delivery service providers who are paid bonuses on metrics such as route completions percentages, man. So the classic overworked, underpaid, man. They want you to do a lot more but give you a lot less, man. So it's different levels of this, man. You know what I mean? As far as, you know, scripture, I get scripture, a rich or Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the servants are borrowed to the lender, man. Proverbs 18:22. Let me get that. Let me make sure that's the one. No, that's not the one. Shalak. $18 and $23, close, but okay. We'll go to Proverbs 22:7. The poor uses entreaties, but the rich answer roughly, man. So the poor entreaties goes to beg and beseech, man. But the rich answer roughly because they're in a position of power, man. So they don't have to respect the poor, man, because the poor are at the mercy or service or subjection to them, man. Proverbs 22:7. I quoted that. Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor. So the rich ruleth over the poor. Why? Because they're in a position of power, man. They have everything, man. So the poor has to go to them, man, for every want, every need, man. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender, man. So the bar has got to go. It's got to go to that lender. So you're at the mercy of that lender. So you're a servant to that lender. You're a slave. You're a serf. You know, until that debt's paid, man. And really, overall, man, because they're in the position of power, man. Let's go back to where I was at, the article. There's all video here. See if I get the sound on it. Associated Press. Sherlock. All right, I don't have no sound for some reason, but I'm gonna play the video. So Amazon workers protest in Washington on Black Friday. It's Amazon Fresh. All right, Sherlock for no sound. You know, some reason didn't play no sound. I'm gonna get another video.
Amazon warehouse employees in Europe are on strike today as part of a planned action timed to match the start of the holiday season marked by Black Friday. The which include unions in the UK, France, Germany, and the US, say the strike is calling for better wages and work conditions. Rochelle, we're talking about the focus being in Europe, but really in 40 countries. I mean, that's where the walkout is happening right now. Obviously, benefits, wages, certainly a big part. Environmental footprint, another one that we have heard some unions and some workers raise as well. It's all part of this campaign called Make Amazon Pay, and it certainly points to the pressure that the company's increasingly facing from the organization of these workers, not necessarily labor unions per se, but just better working conditions as Amazon tries to expand their footprint. By the way, worth noting, this Black Friday, we talk about how this is one of the biggest days of the year for retailers, but a new study coming out pointing to the fact that in the U.S. at least, Walmart has outpaced Amazon in terms of searches for those seeking out deals. So, I mean, take that, with a grain of salt, but, certainly points to the pressure that Amazon's facing.
It really does, and I think obviously one of Amazon's selling points is its speed. It's not always the best price, which is why as people start to do a bit more price comparison, that might be why Walmart is ending up there. And then in regards to these strikes, I mean, as you mentioned, this is in 40 countries. A lot of times we sort of focus on the US, as you mentioned there, and focus on Europe, but this is 40 countries wide. And we did see that Amazon did try to sweeten the deal. At one point they had a £500 bonus if the thousands of workers there didn't take any unauthorized absence. People clearly not taking that on. In fact, we saw from the GME trade union, they said that linking payment to staff attendance could be considered to be union busting. So even though Amazon is trying a number of different strategies to keep people on, it's clearly not enough, and this movement continues to grow. It'll be interesting to see how Amazon reacts, or perhaps if it affects things like deliveries, depending on the number of people striking. But I don't think this is a situation that's going to go away. And this project has also been talking about just how much money Amazon has made, especially this year, and really wondering why some of these benefits are not trickling down to workers. So I think these calls are going to continue to go louder.
Yeah, and worth noting that this comes at a time when Amazon has announced significant layoffs. We've also seen a slowdown on their e-commerce side, so things aren't necessarily humming along the way they were at the height of the pandemic. Worth noting some of these countries, we said 40, that includes obviously the US, the UK, India, Japan, Australia, South Africa, and then across Europe as well. There are some significant ones that are happening in the US, including reportedly outside the founder Jeff Bezos' condo in New York on Fifth Avenue. There will apparently be a protest there as well. So these workers really trying to ramp up that pressure on the company to say we're serious when we say, we want better pay, better wages. Amazon certainly has raised them significantly over the last few years with this pressure, but it'll be interesting to your point to see how Amazon responds to the latest wave of protests taking effect today.
Also, Yahoo Finance relating to that. Other reports over here, Yahoo Finance and Associated Press relating to the videos talking about Amazon strikes. Get some scriptures, more scriptures. 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. Sedition goes to mutiny, uprising, insurrection. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they taking the power back in their hands, and they're not regarding kings and princes, man. Protests, uproars, 2nd Ezra 9, I believe. Second Ezra 9 and 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and you see in the uproars of the people, protest, civil unrest, insurrection, violent uprising. So the people are getting pretty much, in a matter of speaking, irritated or antsy, man. In their respective areas, respective countries, here in the United States and various other countries all over the world, protesting over social, economical, financial, and other reasons in their respective areas. So that's what you're seeing, man. Ecclesiastes 12 and I'm gonna start at 12 and 1. Remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth from the beginning, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So getting it while the evil days are at bay, at a distance, and while certain things are not drawing nigh or near, man. Number 2. Number 3. While the sun and the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, pretty much signs, tokens. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease, that's the work, man, because there are few. And those that look out of the window be darkened, because they don't see a future, they don't see a hope or a form of the future, man. Because the society, the spirit of mirth, the spirit of activity that once was, is stopping, you know. "12 and 4. For the doors shall be shut in the street." So things are going to be closing, man. And that's what you're seeing, man. You're seeing things getting closed down. Mom and pop shops, sometimes major companies, man. Different entities, man. "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low." That hustle and bustle, the activity, that's going to be cut down. "And he shall rise up at the voice of the birds, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." So the activity, the celebration, the music, the party, and the reveling, that's all going to be cut, man. That's that spirit of mirth, man. It's being cut, man. "And when they shall be afraid of what is high, and the fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets." Because the activity and things that the things that people were once doing It's becoming cut. It's becoming ceased, man. It's being cut. It's becoming no more, man. Let's go to Matthew's 20. Let's go to Isaiah 24:10. The city of confusion is broken down. That city, man, which is Babylon. Babel, which means confusion. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. So things are being closed, man. Nobody's coming in. 11. There is crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. So, and the mirth of the land is gone. That spirit of that mirth is gone, man. The wine can go to pretty much the celebration, the festival occasions and different things, man. Pretty much the activity in society, man, is being cut, man. Number 12. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. So, the city is being cut, man. The city is being things that once were is no longer, man. So that spirit of mirth is being taken. The Lord Yahweh Shemeshah is taking that city of mirth, and ultimately He's going to take the city completely, man, relating to judgment, man. These are the precursors. The Lord is beginning to visit the earth which He has made. For many great misery shall happen in the latter times because they walked in pride, man. So the miseries goes to the calamities and different types of plagues and different types of fearful sights and signs that the Lord is sending from the heavens, man. You know what I mean? These that unrestless times, man. Part of that is people losing their work, their income, their livelihood. You have blackouts in Ukraine. There's a video on Maldove's talking about blackouts. They had missile attacks, and there's a video talking about doctors had to go use the steps to help someone's pretty much detached hand, man. You know, they had to use the steps because the elevator for the power wasn't working, man. I was in Maldove's, you know what I mean? And so the blackouts and different things. In Europe, you know, we saw the Lord is visiting this place, man. He's sending different signs that goes to those tokens, man. These are just the precursors of that. That was Isaiah 24:10 through 12. This is something short. Give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahshua. I hope it helps. This is Ayab. I hope it helps. It's something short. Give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Shalom.